Hey, what's up guys? Casey Dimon here, TaxSaleAcademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream right here on YouTube. Hope you're having an incredible week. Guys, I want to talk to you today about a question that I get from time to time. And the deal is you've researched your tax sale list, you went to the auction, and then you were finally able to purchase your house. You're finally able to purchase that tax sale house that you wanted to buy, right? But what now? You know it needs work, right? Just about every tax sale investment house out there is going to need some sort of work. It needs a lot of work most of the time, right? But you're afraid that the time, the money that you invest into your remodel might not pay for itself. So what do? Well, this is a dilemma that many investors find themselves in, especially the first few transactions they make, the first few homes that they buy at tax sales. Their relatively small investment now has to double in size in order to cover their remodeling costs. But is it worth it? Will they get their entire investment out and then some, or should they just kind of sell the property as is and dump it and move on to the next piece of property they can buy, right? I actually answered this question a few days ago for one of my Academy members, and the deal is that there is no perfect answer. Every situation and every property is different. You basically have two options. You can resell the property at an as-is wholesale type price, then take your profits and move on, or you can remodel the property and sell it for a lot more money. Let's look at both these options and I'll kind of give you the strategy that I use. First off, when you decide to sell a piece of property as is, you're obviously going to get less money. A piece of property that's in bad condition, a house that's in bad condition, that's dilapidated, needs repairs, it's just worth less money, right? That's pretty obvious, okay? You're also going to limit your buyer audience. A property in bad condition will likely only generate the interest of other investors. Those investors, they're definitely going to want to pay less too because they have to make money in that deal as well. With that said, now there are some benefits. First off, you can get into the transaction and you can get out of that transaction very quickly. You can take and roll that money over into the next property. You don't have to wait for a remodel to actually be completed. Another benefit is obviously it's going to be cheaper. You don't have the additional expense of a remodel. Whatever you pay for that piece of property is going to be your total investment. Another benefit is that you don't have to deal with all these unknowns. What if you have to replace the roof and you didn't budget for it? What if you have foundation issues and you didn't budget for them, termite issues, that kind of stuff? You don't have to deal with that when you flip the property as is. So those apply to selling the property as is. There's some pros and some cons there. When it comes to fixing up the property or remodeling that property prior to flipping it, there are definitely pros and cons there as well. One of the negatives is something that I just mentioned when it comes to fixing up the property. Every single remodel is going to have some sort of unexpected cost. It could be fairly minor, just like 50 or 100 bucks, but it could be extreme, tens of thousands of dollars. But at some point in every project, you're going to have something that pops up and it's going to cost you money that you hadn't counted on, that you hadn't budgeted for. Another negative is that you must invest both time and money into a remodel. Remodels are not cheap and they usually aren't fast either, especially if you're not experienced in remodeling homes. Typically, your first few deals will always go over budget and they'll always take 2 or 3 times longer than you anticipate them taking. You see the guys on TV flipping homes in 10 days and stuff. That's cool, but a lot of that's for show. And if it's not, they might have 20, 30 projects and they can demand the attention of these contractors. You don't have that luxury, right? The likelihood is your first few projects are probably going to take many months to complete. You'll also have the stress of dealing with a remodel. It can be stressful. Contractors that don't show up, projects that are done incorrectly, supplies that are stolen, rain delays, permitting delays, failed inspections, all sorts of other fun stuff that you have to deal with. Of course, along with those negatives come just as many positives. The first is the most obvious and the primary reason we remodel homes. You're going to get more money for that property. The increase in value will ideally cover your remodel costs and then at least 20 to 30% more for your time and for the expense and the effort to remodel that property. Hopefully a lot more though. Another great benefit is that at this point you won't be limiting yourself just to other investors. After a remodel is completed, you're going to be opening the door to a lot of end users, to a lot of end buyers who will hopefully fall in love with that property and who will buy that property for substantially more money than you paid for it. And lastly, a great benefit is kind of emotional. It's kind of just the feeling that it gives you. When you walk away from a remodel and you look back, you say, wow, that was a fun project and I did good. I helped fix the house up. The neighbors all love me because, the eyesore in the neighborhood is now one of the best looking homes in the neighborhood. It's just a satisfying feeling. So as you can see, there's definitely pros and cons to selling a piece of property as is and then remodeling that property. Here's my suggestion on what to do. If there are squatters in that property, first of all, go through the legal methods to evict them. In most states, when you have squatters, you can't just go in there and say, get out. They become tenants at some point, and you have to actually evict them through the courts in most states. Check your state laws, of course. Then, after that, clean out the property as quickly as possible. Get all the trash out, if there's any limbs on the roof, that kind of stuff, clean it up, but don't do anything besides a very basic clean out. At that point, you want to contact 2 or 3 area realtors who specialize in dealing in distressed properties in that specific area. And that's very important. They must have experience in that area and with distressed properties. You want realtors who have seen homes like this in that bad a condition in that area before. Get their current suggested value in its as-is state. Some areas will call them BPOs for broker's price opinions. Other areas call them CMAs or comparable market analysis. Whatever they call it, you want the value that they think it's worth in its current condition as it sits. Tell them that you want a price where it's going to move very quickly in its as-is condition. If they frequently deal in properties that are distressed, they will have an idea on what their investors will pay for that property. Now, what you're going to do after that is you're going to ask the same realtor to provide comps in an as remodeled condition. Provide a list to them of what you're thinking about doing, like granite, new counters, new carpet, whatever you're asking. Just give them a list. But don't give them any prices. Don't give them any values. Don't give them your expected cost to do all this stuff, or tell them how long it's going to take, because this will skew their valuation of the property. What they can do is they can compare the age, location, size, and the improvement list that you give them to the comparable sold properties, and they can provide a value based on that. So now you have 2 values, right? You have the value in its as-is condition, the low value, and the value that is higher, which is the remodeled condition. What you'll want to do is you'll want to take your anticipated remodel cost plus a 10% buffer minimum, add it to your purchase price, and make sure it's well under the value as remodeled that the realtor gave you. If your cost plus remodel plus that 10% buffer is beyond what the value shows a remodeled house will sell for, then obviously you don't want to remodel the property. You want to dump it as is. If your anticipated cost and total investment is well under the remodeled value with plenty of room for a buffer, and most importantly, your profit that is sufficient for you, then it's time to compare the profit potential of the remodeled house to the profit potential of the house in its as-is condition as it's currently sitting. So ask yourself, is it worth the time investment? Is it worth the money investment? Is it worth the stress of the remodel and dealing with all the unknowns? At times, it will be. Other times, it won't be. So again, every situation is different, but these are the steps that I personally take before I venture into a new remodeling project. And hopefully, of course, you know many of these answers prior to even buying that property in the first place. That's all I've got for today, folks. I really hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. If you're enjoying my live streams, be sure to head on over to our channel and subscribe to our channel, and also click that like button on this video to let us know that you're enjoying it and you're finding lots of value. It'll also help us to motivate ourselves to continue producing videos just like this for you. And if you're looking to learn more about tax defaulted real estate, be sure to check out my new book, Tax Sale Playbook. It is the ultimate guide to buying and selling tax defaulted real estate, and you can get this for free over at taxsaleacademy.com. It's a 200-page book. It's not like an e-booklet or anything like that. It's an actual book, guys. It's an incredible resource to help get you started as a tax sale investor. And again, that's taxsaleacademy.com. The book itself is free. All that we ask is that you help us cover shipping to get it from our warehouse to your front door. Again, taxsaleacademy.com. That's it for today, guys. Make it a successful day. Take care. Bye-bye.